going on, man?
Just heads up, you are now being recorded.
Uh-oh.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is awesome. This is the most I've seen you in like 2 years.
Seriously.
And it's virtual, but that's cool.
I like the view of the rafters. It looks really clean on the underside there. That's nice.
Yeah, I sleep up there actually. I'll have to show you sometime.
No wonder it's so clean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And do you see that picture right over there?
It's got glare on it, but it looks like someone walking down a street or a road or something.
That's actually not. There's some stuff right below that. I don't know if I should show. But
then I see a bunch of Bodie.
Yeah. So that there's my vaporizer there. But that's a picture of a Jewish dude in a swimming race, and someone parted the water, so the Jewish guy's just running through. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, how you doing? How's your day going?
Good, man. Good. Just finished up last call time of the day. Got some more work to do still. But feeling good.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. How about yourself, dude?
Doing pretty well. I've had it was a I can't figure this camera out. It was a good week. Can't complain really. A lot of things going on. I feel like some things I maybe just assume that you know about, but we haven't talked too much in the last year, so I'm not sure you do. But I actually have Poplar under contract for sale, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be selling end of the month, like the 19th. Now I'm looking into some land to purchase to start farming.
Really?
Yeah, I want to start a little farm, I think.
You got to talk to Nate Kleiman, dude.
Yeah, dude, I definitely do actually. It's a good person to hit up.
That dude has forgotten more about agricultural and botany than either of us combined could learn in our entire lifetimes.
I'm definitely going to hit him up. So I'm actually related, a little different. I'm sure he knows about it too, though. I'm pretty fascinated with mushrooms and mycology lately. So I'm trying to have like definitely a vegetable garden and all that, but I definitely want to have a big mushroom farm too. So I started growing like lion's mane at my house, cordyceps, reishi, shiitake, maitake, gray oyster, pink oyster, white oyster, and all. It's been pretty cool, and
that's wild, dude. I love it,
dude. It's fascinating though how medicinal they are and how good they are for you. And I feel like it's been like unknown for so long, but I feel like we're on the cutting edge or the cusp of a big mushroom takeover.
I freaking love mushrooms, all sorts of mushrooms. I'll put that shit in anything, man.
Exactly. And there's so many benefits for them, and it's kind of just, it's unreal. And they're so versatile too. Like they're good for the environment. They can help like clean up oil and plastics and change like the soil structure. And there's like, have you ever heard of the mycelium network underground that connects trees? So there's trees that
Avatar.
Yeah, dude, just like that actually. If there's a tree over here that doesn't have enough nutrients, and there's a tree like 20 miles away that does have extra nutrients, they can transport through the mushroom network underground and give it nutrients.
That's so awesome, man.
So cool. And then something else I just learned I think is fascinating is they have something called adaptogens in a lot of mushrooms. So basically like the mushroom will know what you need, and it'll affect you differently than it affects me, because it'll know I need XYZ, it'll know you need QRS, and it'll basically do both for us. It's fascinating.
That's so wild. I didn't know that. That is so cool.
Pretty cool.
I knew they were super good for you, and that they were good for the soil, but that's wild, man.
Yep, they're definitely I don't know. I feel like they're like a super food that no one's really been talking about for a while. I don't know why.
No, seriously.
Yeah. So pretty excited. I've been so I started a mushroom supplement company or brand called Mushmore. And that's kind of what's been like facilitating a lot of my interest. I'll have to send you a sample so you can try it out.
What do you what's your favorite dish to cook the mushrooms in?
I've honestly just been learning a lot, dude. This is funny. I never really liked mushrooms.
Really?
Yeah, like growing up, I hated them. I wouldn't try them on pizza or any of that. Like I never, literally never ate them.
You're not alone. You're not alone there, man. I hear a lot of people respond to me like that because I love mushrooms. I always have, and I've heard people say like I don't like mushrooms. Like I hate them. It's like
Yeah,
they say it's a texture thing sometimes.
exactly.
Some
Well, there's
people
also so good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say some people insist that they don't like have a good taste or they don't have any taste at all. I love them in all sorts of different ways.
What's your favorite one?
I mean, they're so good in like a wok or a stir fry. You know, they're really, really good that way. I love them on pizza.
What type of mushroom though? What type of mushroom are you talking about?
Oh, I'm a big cremini mushroom guy. You know,
Okay.
I like that, but shiitake obviously is really freaking good.
Portobello.
I mean, portobello, dude, those big boys, they're
right?
so freaking good. And I know, like, and like in cleaning them, and sometimes they encourage you, depending on the mushroom, to take out the webbing and stuff underneath. Man, I chop that whole bad boy up and I cook it all up. Like I don't find any of it gross or the taste not good. Like I love it all, man.
Yeah, no, exactly. And what I think is pretty interesting is like it's more related to meat than it is to plants. Like it's a good meat substitute. A lot of them.
That's a good point. I know that that mushrooms are oftentimes used pretty heavily in like veggie burger patties as like a substitute. We're actually going to try it. We did a cool little. We had egg noodles in the house last week, and we wanted to do something with some grass-fed ground lamb that we got from Esposito's down in South Philly.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, we had all this lamb because I buy like 20 pounds at a go for Brownie, and then
she got Brownie.
She's good, but she gets bored of her food like every 3 months, and so like only dog on the planet that got bored of like grass-fed lamb and was like looking at me like I'm an asshole trying to feed her lamb, and so we switched it off of her, and I was kind of caught flat-footed with all this lamb, which is not a bad problem to have because I love lamb. You can make all sorts of stuff out of it, but whatchamacallit. So we were like, all right, we got this ground lamb. Why don't we saute it up? And then we got these egg noodles and we had some veggies. So I was like, I'm just gonna like saute the lamb up, saute the veggies, boil the egg noodles, and then just toss it all into like a wok and serve it up that way. Like, why not? You know what I mean? It's meat and veggies and noodles all in something. Like, you can't go wrong. And it was freaking delicious. Now, the one thing, the reason this is all connects.
All right.
That I was missing mushrooms that night, and I was too lazy to go get them. But you better believe Wednesday night we got egg noodles on the menu, and I'm gonna go get some mushrooms.
Hell yeah!
What's up, dude?
You got to send me a picture and show me. I want to see.
I will for sure. You know, in like exploring like kind of like all the different produce and stuff, because we do Philly Food Works ever since the pandemic came down. We subscribe to them. And
what's Philly Food Works?
So it's a local co-op that is in partnership and collaboration with various small businesses, vendors, and farmers within a 100-mile radius, I believe the thing is, to provide kind of the best kind of farm to table type co-op service in the area. And so you can customize your orders, or you can get what are called harvest boxes, and basically you just load up seasonally on really fresh produce. And they also have like yogurts that you can get access to, and sauces, condiments. We mainly use it for like to experiment with like cool seasonal produce, just because you need more of that in your life, and if you don't really have the time to do like deep dive into it, a service like Philly Food Works can be like, this is what this region is like producing right now, this time.
Right. That's awesome.
So it's cool, you don't necessarily accidentally feed into the big grocery store way of like our country is set up, where it's like providing us any type of food we want, no matter the season or the distance that the food is coming from. So, you're only eating tomatoes with Philly Food Works when tomatoes, are in season, and they can get you fresh tomatoes, and now, that's not to say that you can have greenhouse operations happening anywhere and kind of simulate environments and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
You said like it's not like the food at a grocery store, and I was just gonna say, like, I feel like the grocery store doesn't even have food, to be honest. Half the stuff at the grocery store is like just chemicals and just stuff that's like that you can eat. It's edible, but I feel like it's not even like food, half of the stuff. Or when you get it direct from the farm, you're getting like actual food and ingredients, things that have nutritional value, that are good for you.
Yeah, the big way you can tell that is that it looks so much different than what you're used to.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're like, oh shit, like these potatoes look totally different than what I'm used to getting. Or a big thing, they have a lot of heirloom stuff that they're also providing to you, and that's a big thing that Nate's really into. And it's a good thing to do research for, because based off of where you are in the country, trying to introduce native seeds, it's all about the seeds you get, and introducing native seeds to the area, as opposed to just trying to force the soil and the ecosystem to produce like what you want, is a big thing that he's into. So he's, I've walked along on his farm, and he's just naming all these things he's got growing. He's like, I'm just introducing this because, the Lenni Lenape were growing it before, European settlers even came along and totally changed the ecology of this whole region,
Where's his farm?
He's got Elmer, New Jersey.
Like the glue?
Is what I want to say, like the glue. Yeah, he's in NJ.
Nice.
With a farm. It's like, I guess you would technically call it Central Jersey.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the areas I'm looking. I'm kind of looking anywhere within an hour of Philly.
Okay.
For some land. So when did he start his farm?
When did he start it, you said?
Yeah.
So he got a good patch of land there close to a little pond. God, it must have been 5 years ago.
Okay,
now.
yeah.
He's been there.
I kind of remember you talking about it when it happened, I feel.
His even bigger passion is the seeds that he's doing, and he's got this national farm network that he travels all around the country advocating, and he goes to conventions and stuff. I haven't checked in with him about how he's doing kind of during the pandemic wise. I think it's been a few months since we had a conversation, but his big thing is just trying to support, seed banks and getting getting access to good seeds, and then sharing that with everybody, so that we're less and less dependent on maybe going to like, a garden, like a franchise or a corporation's garden store or something like that, like Lowe's or Home Depot, which are, mass produced seeds and might not only are there necessarily maybe inferior product they're producing, but they might not be good for the area that you're growing the produce and the time of year and all that stuff. So his whole thing is about like education and kind of getting people involved. Like every year when he's planting seeds, harvesting stuff, he has volunteers come and help him out with the work. And, you end up being able to walk away with whatever you can carry. He's generous like that. And he even has, greenhouse and space on his farm where, different people are growing different stuff, as part of their project. So it's a real true kind of like collaborative thing that he's doing on multiple fronts. And that's always been his passion. So it's interesting that you mentioned that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm definitely excited to connect with him again, and maybe we'll have maybe we'll visit the farm sometime in the spring when we're all vaccinated, and we could play manhunt in the cornfields.
There you go, dude. Going in May, I haven't been there in years, but I went this one May, and we were plucking asparagus out of the ground and just eating it like right there, and it was.
We're going for May for your birthday.
I'm down, man. It was one of the coolest things. And he had honeybees going in these setups. Yeah, man. And you know how important they are to the ecology and it was so cool to see. And like I said, he's got a whole setup that he really like. He's introducing all of these native, plants, not necessarily edible stuff, but all sorts of things that he's just like, I'm just trying to like, focus on what, this area used to look like and what used to grow here and depending on the time of year and stuff like that. And so
that's really cool. Do you know how big it is, like acre wise? Is it more than an acre?
no, I don't remember.
Huge, small.
What I do know is that the farm that he operates on is like this huge place, and he kind of has access to like a portion of it. I think a big thing of what people with land these days do is they kind of allow for whatever they negotiate as like a contract.
It's like a sharecropper.
Yeah, they allow people to plant and do their own thing and kind of have their projects. And even Nate, like in his own space, had people kind of experimenting with stuff, growing stuff, and so it's not necessarily like mine, whatever. It's just kind of everybody's. So it was really it was a cool setup.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Sorry, I keep on yawning. It's been a long ass day.
No, it has been a long day, and it's still not over. I got it. Speaking of big conglomerates, got to run to Home Depot or something. I'm not sure what, but Stevie just came home and was like, we got to run to Home Depot. We got to go to the grocery store, stuff like that. So.
Oh damn! The married man being put to work.
Hey man, you got to do what you got to do, man.
How many kids do you have these days?
Just the one, Brownie.
Oh, okay.
That's my fur baby.
All right.
She keeps us busy enough, man. So that's
no. Well, you met my second dog I got?
I met the second dog and a she.
Yeah.
Right? How's she doing?
She's good, but it's a lot of work. It's kind of nuts. Like it's not a full-time job, obviously, but like it's hours a day of just walking them, her and Bodie, keeping them separate. Bodie's gone pretty fucking wild in his old age.
Really?
Yeah, he like you can't go near him when he's eating. He like will attack you.
Really?
Yeah, it's like kind of sick, but it's kind of funny.
That's so he's getting a little crotchety in his old age, huh?
Yeah, well, I think he's blind right now, so like he doesn't know who it is. So when he's eating, it's like, yo, stay away.
Yeah. You trying to take my food or something? Like, get out of here.
Yeah, but so like keeping them separate. She just wants to play with him because he's the cool older brother, and he's like doesn't want to play.
Well, he used to get down in his youth, like.
Oh, definitely. He still has times where he gets down.
I especially loved his circuit that he would run when he would just run in a circuit, launching from couch to couch onto the floor, back up onto the couch, man. I was like, how is he doing this? He was like a whirling dervish, man. But
I'm glad you mentioned that because Bijou does that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, she'll just run around in circles. Oh my
God. It must be the feng shui of your room. Just get dogs to do that, man. It's just perfect. That's how the room flows.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Adam does it too, actually.
Well, we all know I can empathize. Adam and I are both kind of like that. We're like dogs at heart,
Yeah.
We're just happy to be here,
Exactly.
I'm moving over because I'm getting a little glare there from behind, but
what room are you in? I don't recognize.
What's that?
Where are you?
I am in it's our spare room, the guest room where Mikey Franks used to live, and Matt. Remember Matt, Ponytail Matt?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy how like long ago all that shit was, but it's really not that long ago. But like, if you don't think of it, you like kind of forget.
I mean, it feels like another lifetime. Anything pre-pandemic feels like another lifetime, but especially, pre-Stevie and being married, it has a way of it's not only like a line in the sand, between different phases in your life, but it almost like separates you in a really exaggerated way from other phases in your life. So it's, it's hard to remember even having roommates other than her and Brownie.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure I mean, I wouldn't imagine being able to go back to that. It'd probably be like, this is insane. How did I ever live like that?
Nah, it'd be tough. I would, if I don't even want to think about life without her, but I'd probably just become like a hermit. You know what
Not
I
without
mean?
her. I meant with other people. You'd be like, I can't live.
Oh yeah, for sure. No. Yeah, like with or without her, it would be really really weird. I'd probably just want to be a hermit or something. You know?
Yeah. How's the computer dude? What's his name?
Jake?
Jake. Yeah.
Yeah. Believe it or not, God,
He's the first one. He's the one who really got kicked out, I feel, by Stevie. She was like, nah, he's not living here anymore.
You know what, Jake? I gotta say, man, talk about a dude who, like, say what you will about his eccentricities, and him and I both, we laugh for hours about how strange we were as dudes to live with. But he was one of those guys that we didn't even need to belabor the point. The minute that we got engaged, and it was like, yeah, you know, we've been dealing with this whole roommate thing, like being in love and stuff for a while now, but now we're getting married. He was like, oh, you guys stay here. Like, I'll just bounce. Like, I can't even imagine like you guys leaving and me trying to find roommates for this place anyway. So I'm just gonna get my own place. Like, it was like, talk about a dude who just like saw the writing on the wall and made it as painless as possible. I'll always be thankful to him for making something easy that very well could have been awkward.
When's the last time you seen him?
Beginning of the pandemic. You just reminded me of how aloof I became during the pandemic, with like, including with you, with like everybody. I just like was like, peace world, I'm just gonna focus on Stevie Brownie, my job, and like my grandmother. like that's it. And
hey, I mean, that's what matters most.
It is, but at the same time, I'm glad we're doing stuff like this now, because I feel like I'm making up for lost time. But I literally, the last time we saw him, he was walking past the house, and he's gonna, you know, it's both sad and funny. Walking by the house, we're all masked up, we're unloading the car. He's like, "Hey guys," he's got like a hoagie in his hand, you know, or something. He's like, "Hey guys, this pandemic sucks. My cousin just died. See ya."
Damn.
And just kept going. And I was like, yeah, it does, man. Sorry to hear that. And he was like,
Yeah. Oh, that just reminded me. I remember one time I was at your house and he came home. He got back from work and we're like, oh, yeah, how's work? He's like, oh, I just saw someone jump out of a building and die. It was pretty crazy. And you're like,
yeah.
Dude, like, that's like traumatic. Like, are you okay? And he's like, yes. I just kept walking. I mean, it was wild. And you're like, dude, like, that's pretty extreme.
Yeah, and believe me, he's not he's got feeling. He feels things deeply. Like, he's a sensitive guy, but like, he always had a funny way of verbalizing like traumatic things that were going on around him.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't work that way for me, but if it works for him, it's cool. Like,
Sure. Yeah, you just reminded me. I gotta hit that guy up and see if I can do it. So
get him on next week's podcast.
Get him on.
Yeah, let's reconnect. We can't see each other in person. Let's see each other online.
Hell yeah, dude! I love that idea. I'm gonna have to hit him up, man.
Yeah, no, that'd be super exciting. I want to. You were saying a little bit before, like how aloof you went with pandemic. I definitely went aloof as well. I feel like this is like preparing me for how to interact with people again. I don't know if I really know how to interact with people anymore.
I definitely don't.
I just know how to like mute myself on Zoom and be quiet. But like conversations in person now are just like, they're so different or weird. You're like, wait, is this normal? I don't know.
At a minimum, like, I feel like just standing close to somebody and talking to them, I'm totally kind of, it's just weird, you know, when you're out and about, like sometimes you can't help it, like someone gets close to you and I automatically feel weird. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to work on this, like for real. Like, I'm gonna have to just practice with people in a safe space, like that I know and love and that know me, you know. But I think Stevie and I have said it to each other. I think a couple people that have maybe, like, you know, seen us when we've done like social distance stuff, or like, yeah, you guys have been in this house for a while, haven't you? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's fucking nuts.
And it's gonna take a little bit.
I feel like a lot of people, or me at least too, like you feel like you're still the same, But then you realize, like, nah, like, even if you feel the same, that last year changed, I think, everyone, at least in some capacity.
For sure.
Where I'm curious, too, when everything opens again, if that ever happens, like, will we ever get any resemblance of normal? Or is it like, even when things are over, I feel like it's still going to kind of be different. The world's forever different.
I think everybody that lived through it of a certain age, I think some folks are a little older, like they don't necessarily have like jobs, careers, school, whatever to occupy them. They're ready to get back to normal. They're ready to forget this. They're ready to be like, I'm over this, whatever. And not that I think younger generations aren't, but I think that we've absorbed it so much. I don't know how I'm going to be able to just forget about it or just
Definitely.
do the same, and to be honest with you, there are just certain habits that I've developed during this, for better or for worse, that I think I'm going to look at.
I just take my shirt off like whenever I want because I'm always at home.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm wearing shorts right now and I have all day. Like
that's more than I'm wearing.
Hey!
Hey.
Prove it. No, I'm just kidding.
Then you're gonna have to make this 18 plus.
Oh shit. Yup. But yeah, it's just it's different, at a minimum, like what it means to be like sick when you're not feeling well, the whole, like, Americans, we have this badge of like honor where it's like, oh, I was sick as a dog, like 102-degree fever, I still went to work, I still went through it. I didn't get any sleep last night and I'm still killing it. And it's like, no, like, you're gonna kill yourself, like, and you're gonna hurt others too and get them sick. Like, I think that's a big thing. That's like, yo, if you're not feeling well, stay the frick home.
I think that brings up another, though, like, COVID was crazy, but I think it also just made a lot of things come to light due to COVID that maybe wouldn't have otherwise, or wouldn't have come so quick. But I think that brings up the point of like benefits, like work benefits and like maternity leave and staying home. A lot of people don't stay home when they're sick because they literally won't be able to survive if they don't get paid. And I think that, like, this kind of brought that to light, like, hey, people need to have the option to stay home if they're not feeling well, because that's what's best for society. And right now, when you have kids that you have to take care of, or this or that, it's like kind of impossible. There's a woman in, I think, Ohio who had a job and she left her 2-year-old in a hotel because she had to go to work or something. I forget the exact story, but basically she got like arrested. She had a friend of hers go to the hotel every like 30 minutes to check on the kid, but basically got arrested for child endangerment and neglect or whatever. But then there's a big GoFundMe. They supported her. She raised like $100,000. And they're like, no, like, what is this woman supposed to do? She's damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. If she goes to work and takes care of her kid, and has someone take care of the kid, she gets arrested. If she didn't go to work, she has no money to feed her kid. She can get arrested, fired, and then she has no job. So it's like, what is someone like that supposed to do?
You bring up a good point about the childcare thing, man. I think just like we're humans, like we're literally like, and this is, I would argue against this, with Stevie and I are making our own choices when it comes to having kids, but humans have babies, right? Like we have babies. That's what humans do. And you can get into the philosophy of it and all that, but like, essentially that's what humans do. And the fact that we, in this country and other capitalistic countries, we basically punish people in some ways, specifically women, really.
Definitely women. The income gap is due to maternity leave.
That's the largest argument from an owner's standpoint. When you have like workers versus owners, that debate, owners are just like, women are inherently more expensive workers. That's why we pay them less. Like there's inherent risk because they could just get pregnant and then I gotta pay for all. And I'm just like, you realize that women are producing more workers for you, right? Like that's like, like Karl Marx is rolling over his grave. He's like, that's my point, like we're creating like financial units, but like essentially like you realize that you're making money off of people that are doing the work for you. It wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the worker. And humans having more babies are more it's adding to society, it's why the human race keeps going. And,
Yeah.
and at an inherent level, there's something morally repugnant about mostly men, male bosses just being like, they just cost more. They're more expensive because they're women.
Well, I don't want to start this too much because we could talk for like hours. We'll talk about it more next time. But I agree with you, but I think I was kind of saying something a little different. So like Iceland, I believe it's Iceland, forces paternity leave now. When a couple has a kid, the mom obviously takes away for maternity leave. The dad has to take 6 weeks for paternity leave. That rule has already shortened the income gap because now, like, supposedly, I don't know what's right or wrong. These are just things that I've read, but supposedly people don't hire women as much because they think, hey, is this woman going to have kids and take 6 weeks off? I don't know if I want to hire her because that's going to be a tough 6 weeks. Or, hey, I'm not going to send this woman on the business trip to LA because she might have a kid or whatever. I'm going to develop this guy because I know he's going to work straight for the next 6 hours and whatever, or 6 years and whatever. And that there's an argument that that's like a big reason of the gap. So when you force the dad to go away, people hiring people now go, okay, this person's going to probably be out 6 weeks, regardless of if it's a woman or a guy. So now it levels the playing field, and it's like, oh, I'm going to just hire what's best, not just what I think might get more hours of and stuff like that.
Yeah, a worker's a worker. A worker's a worker. Just because women biologically are the ones having babies doesn't mean you have to penalize them and assume that they will be the primary child caregiver, or I should say.
Yeah, no, exactly. But what's called? I have a appointment at 5. This time just flies by. I can't believe I went a year without talking to you.
Yeah.
Pretty nuts.
We used to just talk for forever in your kitchen, man, and so
about nothing.
About nothing. And now we're actually trying to talk about something, and so we definitely need to keep carving out this time for sure, dude.
Definitely. So I'm gonna stop recording now. Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening, Mom, and 3 other random people on the internet.